Hello, 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 and welcome to episode number 73 of a Teen Talk Skating podcast. My name's Ango, and I hope you guys are all doing very, very well. I think I've had like every health issue like under the sun this week. My feet have been hurting because I've been running because I'm trying to, exercise and get that summer vibe. I don't know. And then I've had a lot of stomach cramps, and like I don't even want to talk about what happened on the toilet this week. Okay. Anyway, I hope you guys are all doing very, very well. I have to say that I've been watching a lot of tennis recently, which is a little concerning. I feel like a lot of people have summer sports in a sense where, because figure skating obviously doesn't run in the summer, so they have nothing new to watch. And so they go to some other sport. Usually I feel like it's gymnastics or like basketball. But for some reason, I've been watching a lot of tennis recently, which I know is not even a summer sport because it goes kind of year round. But like I don't know what it is, but I've been doing a lot of tennis stuff recently. I'm just looking at tennis for no reason. Of course, I've been also watching skating. But anyway, I hope you guys are all doing very well. Hope everything's going well with work and everything. I feel like most schools are done by now. If school's not done by now for you, I'm very sorry about that. But you guys got this until you're almost done, okay? Anyway, we should probably get to the pro of the week and then the main episode because this episode is quite full of stuff, I would say. I have a lot to talk about, I have a lot of things to say and do and everything. So, yeah, time for our program of the week as you will hear the theme song. Program of the week. Okay, guys, so now it is time for our program of the week, as you heard in the theme song. And this program of the week comes from a skater who I feel like is underrated. Like, I feel like not enough people talk about her, and that is from Japan from about 10 years ago, actually. 2015 Worlds, her free skate is Rika Hongo's free skate. Rika Hongo from Japan, I feel like she is so underrated. And I feel like this program, like, perfectly shows her, like, performance ability and how it's actually really, really good. But her program, her free skate is That's a Carmen by Georges Bizet, very, very famous. We all know it. We all love it, or sometimes we hate it. I personally love it. But Carmen, the Warhorse, and all Warhorses. What I love about this program is something I don't usually notice in a lot of skaters, and that is the exits to her jumps, I would say. Every jump she lands in the program, she lands every single jump in this program, amazingly. She puts her hands out like it is just like the most, like the biggest achievement of her life. Literally every jump, she sells it so hard, she lands it both arms out in the air. And then she even does this triple flip. I think this is the best landing for it. She does like a solo triple flip in the second half of the program, and then she puts one arm up, but the other one's holding it, and like bam, I landed that. Did you see that? Did you see that? Because I just landed that because that's kind of the vibe he's giving with this program. Is like, I just landed that. Did you see that? I'm amazing. Y'all clap for me. And literally the crowd just loves her, and I love this. I love that. Like I did it. I did it, and then even landing the last jump, she's so excited to land the last jump. I will say choreographically, is that a word? Choreographically, I think this is a really good Carmen program. It does very much give Carmen. It's like Rika Hongo like looked at herself in the mirror before the competition, like I am Carmen, and she really does channel that perfectly. A lot of spice, a lot of flavor is going on. A lot of hand motions, particularly towards the judges. A lot of like one-handed, like with a dramatic look, and I kind of like it. There's this moment where she's kind of skating into her next jump, but she's skating by the judges, and she gives them a quick hand and a look real quick, and then she skates by, and it's like it's a little dramatic, and I really, actually, really do enjoy that. Some of the pieces of this program, I think choreographically, obviously, are really good, connected well together. It gives the right vibe. It goes well with the flow of the music. Um, what is saying? A lot of the jumps are right on the music. The first beginning combination sequence, the triple flip, triple toe, excuse me. I'm like, I just ate dinner. I'm sorry. The triple flip, triple toe is really, really good. Landing it right on the music as it goes into like the big, like exciting what is it? Dance of the Toreadors, March of the Toreadors part. But yeah, really good program. It just gives off the right vibe. It's like this is a Carmen I like to see. It has a little flavor, spice. The acting is really good, not too theatrical. The ending of it, you can tell she's really happy to get all the jumps done. She goes into her final sit spin, and then she kind of like sits down and puts one hand forward, and she's just very, very happy and satisfied with it. So yeah, if you're looking for a program with very much excitement, a Carmen that's not, the most, boring, like 3 minutes, 4 minutes you see in your life. This is the Carmen you want to. This is the kind of Carmen you should watch. I think it's an underrated program. It's an underrated skater. Rika Hongo, her 2015 World's Free Skate to Carmen. Go watch it after you listen to this episode. I think it is really, really, really worth a watch. So you should definitely go check it out. And now it's time for the main episode. That was your program of the week. Okay, guys, like you heard, it is time for our main episode, and this one does have a lot to go into, so I'm gonna get started ASAP. There's no dilly dallying. The figure skating Grand Prix assignments have been released, so it is really the time where like people like me, who are huge fans of the sport, like to like speculate and predict results about the assignments that will happen in like October, November, December. So yeah, we like to predict what competitions will happen, like what will happen, what results will happen, like 4 or 5 months in advance. So yeah. But anyway, if you did not watch my episode last week, I went over the Grand Prix assignments for the men and the ice dance. So if you're interested in the men and ice dance fields, especially ice dance, because I was like going off about how dramatic ice dance is this upcoming season, which is so true. Definitely go check out that episode if you're into the men and ice dance disciplines. But this episode, I'm going to talk about the two remaining disciplines, being the women's discipline and the pairs discipline. So, like last week, if you haven't watched last week's episode, or if you have watched last week's episode, you can kind of skip a little bit in this beginning part because I'm going to go over the Grand Prix again, like what they are, with like the exact same words, basically. So, like I said last week, the Grand Prix are basically the Hunger Games of figure skating. After you trinket is drawing your name out of a little globe, I don't know, and you get selected to fight in these Grand Prix. So basically these Grand Prix are events where skaters aim to score really well. They want to win or podium, and if they win or podium, that earns them a certain amount of points, which they can use to qualify for a very, very, very prestigious event called the Grand Prix Final, where only 6 skaters in each discipline, 6 skaters or teams in each discipline compete. And so it is a very exclusive club in a sense. And if you do really well in these Grand Prix, you're able to get into that exclusive club. Now, I will say these Grand Prix results are really important next season, especially because next season is the Olympic season. And these Grand Prix really show you who the front runners are. The people who win these Grand Prix or place really well at these Grand Prix are the people who are kind of in the running to win or medal or do really well, top 10 finish at these upcoming Olympic Games. So when I say that these are very serious, I really, really, really do mean that this is serious. And so that's why people like to predict these results very much months in advance, just like me. And that's what you're listening to in this episode. Just to clarify again, I'm only talking about the women's assignments, and the pairs assignments this week. Just to keep things short, limited to those two disciplines. But if you want to look at the men and ice dance assignments and what I said about those, check out last week's episode. And keep in mind that all these assignments can change with withdrawals, but new additions might come in later as well. But most of them will remain the same. So you'll probably see at least, in the women, there are 12 skaters in each discipline. About 10 of maybe or 11 will be the same usually. Someone might withdraw, someone might be added in, but it will probably remain the same. And this is all public information on the ISU website about who's going to each assignment. So this is not like exclusive information that you cannot look up or something. I am gonna do a better job than last week. Last week I didn't even like say who was going to each Grand Prix even, so I was like, I should probably start doing that. But we're gonna start with the women's discipline, and for the women, their first event will be Grand Prix de France, or the first event in the Grand Prix in general is Grand Prix de France, and the skaters there are Nina Petrokimia, Laurine Schild, 2 TBD spots in France, meaning they don't have skaters to fill in those spots. Amy Nakai of Japan, Kari Sakamoto of Japan, Ryan Sumiyoshi of Japan, Cheon Kim of South Korea, Yu Yang from South Korea, Livia Kaiser from Switzerland, Isabel Levito from the USA, and Elise Lynn Gracie also of the USA. That was so high, bitch. This is a very, very, very loaded field for this first assignment because like brother who actually like assigned these assignments, who made these assignments. So out of those 10, 12 names, I would say that, Kari Sakamoto, I think, is the clear frontrunner. Kari Sakamoto, if you don't know, she is the 2022 Olympic bronze medalist. She's a three-time world champion, and so she has this really huge accolades behind her. Early season may or may not be the most consistent for her. She was struggling a little bit here and there last season with a little consistency, but usually she gets it kind of put together at these very big major events, and so she really is the clear frontrunner. Technically, she's excellent. Technically and artistically, she's excellent. It will be her last season. She just announced that today officially, I believe, that this will be her last season. And so I really feel like Kari Sakamoto is really going to go all out this season. And I really do feel like it is kind of her season. Last season, maybe there were a little struggles here and there, but I think this upcoming season could really be Kari Sakamoto's season. But I will say Cheon Kim also put up some big scores last season. Cheon Kim from South Korea did really, really well at her Grand Prix last season. She didn't qualify for the final, but she did do well enough to be an alternate for the final. She ended up going to the Asian Winter Games where she did beat Kaoru Sakamoto, and then she ended up going to Four Continents where she scored very huge above the rest of the field. And so Cheon Kim is also someone who could definitely make it on the podium. What comes in very interestingly is when you consider Isabel Levito of the USA, because I believe Isabel Levito is kind of the greatest fighter in the entire sport of figure skating. She is so good at coming back that it's kind of crazy that she can come back. She fights so hard, even when the results don't go well for her necessarily. I do feel like Isabel Levito might be the dark horse between the battle of Kaori Sakamoto and Cheon Kim. Isabel Levito might be the person who wins this event. She did win France back in 2023, I believe. Yeah, 2023. And so this could be it again. But not to be, not to how do you say, not to hide any of the other skiers, because skiers like Ryan Sumiyoshi from Japan, for example, have very, very high technical ability. She has landed a quad toe. I believe she's the only senior woman this whole entire quad who has landed a quadruple dome. She landed the quad toe at this same event, I believe, in 2023. But, Ryan Sumiyoshi, these past few seasons, she's been a little inconsistent. She could make the podium if she does get all those jumps together. Nina Petrokina of Estonia, on the other hand, is the European champion. She's the continental champion, and she scored huge at Europeans and then did an amazing free skate at the Road to 26 trophy. She'll be looking to score very big as well here. Amy Nakai of Japan makes her senior Grand Prix debut. She was a junior these past few seasons. She's making her senior debut, but on the junior level, she scored quite high at a few competitions. She's done very, very well. She doesn't come in with any junior world medals or anything, but she does come in with a lot of experience on the junior level, which hopefully can translate on the senior level for Amy Nakai. Elisa and Gracie did amazing last season at one competition, the Nebelhorn Trophy. I do feel like we should still not rule her out. Elisa and Gracie was, struggling with her consistency a little bit last season. She kind of regrouped and then ended up winning a medal at Junior Worlds, bronze there. I think she could really make it or break it here. It really depends on her consistency. Last season on the Grand Prix, she was kind of struggling, but I really do think she could pull it together. I really hope I really hope one of my favorites, Olivia Kaiser from Switzerland, does good here. Maybe she isn't, maybe in the potential for a medal here. Her technical ability just has not been the highest compared to some of the other skaters here, unfortunately, but I really do love Olivia Kaiser and her quirky programs. It's good. And then France has two to be determined spots, TBD spots. I think they will probably give one to Leah Serna. I feel like there's no one else they would give it to. And then probably Clémence Mayundu, but I have no idea if she's still skating even, so we will definitely see. But I hope they will assign it to them. So yeah, France has a very competitive field, but overall, my first, second, and third prediction, I think first can be Kari Sakamoto of Japan, second will be Cheon Kim, and third will be Isabel Levito. But again, that could very much change. I could see Isabel on top. I could see Kaori in third. Maybe Cheon stays in the second position. Or maybe a skater like Nina Petrokina steps in. Or even Rion Sumiyoshi if she gets all the jumps together. This first event will be definitely one to watch for sure. Okay, our second event on the Grand Prix is the Cup of China, where we have skiers, the following skiers: Yiju of Japan, no, China. I'm literally reading it. It says CHN for China and not Japan. There's two TBD spots from China. There's Anastasia Gubanova of Georgia, Rino Matsuke of Japan, Hana Yoshida of Japan, Rinka Watanabe of Japan, Heian Lee of Korea, Jia Shin of Korea, Kimi Rippon of Switzerland, Amber Glenn, Amy Glenn? No, Amber Glenn. Oh my gosh, she's my favorite. Amber Glenn from the USA, and Alyssa Liu, also of the USA. I also want to note that I'm very, very sorry if I mispronounce any names in this episode. I'm really bad at pronouncing names. I literally hear them in the competition and I literally still mispronounce them, and so I feel really bad. But anyway, Cup of China is also like a little bit chiller, I feel like, than France, but the IFU still wants to give us a heart attack. I really do think the big match off here is between the two American women, Amber Glenn and Alyssa Liu. Coming off of last season, Amber Glenn was undefeated in every competition she entered except one. And I guess the World Team Trophy, but that doesn't really matter. She was undefeated all of last season until Worlds. And then Alyssa Liu was, doing pretty well last season in her very first comeback season. She came back and she ended up winning Worlds in her comeback season, which is crazy. But then the other competitions she had the earlier part of the season were they were decent, but she was struggling with a little under rotation issues. And so I really do think there's kind of two parallels here. Emery Glenn is coming in with really good results last season, despite the maybe disappointment at Worlds. Alyssa Liu is coming off of her world champion kind of hype. I really do think it could go either way. Perhaps Amber Glenn is stronger in the early half of the season compared to Alyssa Liu, maybe. But that one could go either way. There's talk of Alyssa Liu bringing back her triple axel even, which really could compete with Amber Glenn, who is the only U.S. woman landing the triple axel right now, at least in competition. But that American show off is not about to be the only show off. There is a very strong contingent here from Japan. Rina Matsuke, Hana Yoshida, and Rinka Watanabe are all skiers who have shown in the past that they can very much score in those high 190s and 200s for sure. Rina Matsuke has just beautiful skating. I really do think components is the strongest of the field, honestly, here. Hana Yoshida and Rinka Watanabe are both skaters who have really worked on their technical skill over these past few seasons. Both of them have attempted triple axels in the past. That could be their key to victory. Maybe Amber Glenn and Alyssa Liu will struggle with a little bit of consistency issues, and that's where skaters like Matsuke, Yoshida, and Watanabe can all kind of step in because they also have very good technical ability and they could very much match up with those Americans. Jia Shin of South Korea is making her senior Grand Prix debut. She was on the junior level for a very long time. I think she is a four-time world junior silver medalist now, and then she also did really well at the Youth Olympics on the junior Grand Prix, the junior Grand Prix final. I believe has she been? I don't know if she's been senior South Korean champion. Yeah, I have no idea. But Jia Shin is definitely a skater to watch out for because on the junior level she's been really good. Hopefully, like Amy Nakai that I mentioned earlier, that can translate into the senior level for her. Heian Lee was a little inconsistent last season, also South Korea, but she could very much have a turnaround. Remember, she did medal at Worlds back in 2023. I really do think Heian Lee could have a turnaround. Last season was a little bit difficult for her because of a huge kind of scandal that broke out, but it turns out that she got acquitted of all her, I don't know, charges. It was a super messy thing. But I really hope that Heian Lee can have that comeback in her own right after everything that's happened that she's really fought through. And then I hope that China gives their TBD spot to Hong Yi Chen because I love Hong Yi Chen. I hope that she needs to skate more off. I need to see her more often. I love her skating. I don't really know who else, but they have two. So pick and choose China. I don't know. Anyway, first place I'm hoping Amber Glenn gets. Second place I think Alyssa Liu might get, but those two could very much flip flop. Third place I think it's a really big battle between all three Japanese skaters, but here I put Rinka Watanabe. I have no idea if that's like for sure, but I think Rinka might be the one to do it. Okay. The third event of the Grand Prix season will be Skate Canada. The skaters competing there are Nina Pinzolone of Belgium, Sarah Ma Dupree of Canada, Madeline Skizos of Canada, a TBD spot from Canada, Larinaki Gutman of Italy, Yuna Aoki of Japan, Mone Chiba of Japan, Amy Nakai of Japan, Asan Yoon of Korea, Sarah Everhart of the USA, Isabella Vito of the USA, and Brady Tennell also of the USA. Again, this is another Grand Prix like France where I think that there is so much mess going on here that I'm not so sure. There's a very strong field here. Sarah Everhart, Isabella Vito, and Brady Tennell are all having little mini US nationals. Those three skaters have all proven in the past what they can do. We have Sarah Everhart, who was third at the Four Continents. Isabella Vito was fourth at Worlds. Brady Tennell had a silver at Four Continents with amazing skate. Coming back from injury was Brady Tennell's big thing last season, and she had a very good comeback, I would say. Isabella Vito also having a good comeback at Worlds. Sarah Everhart, though, cannot fall, cannot pop a jump. It's crazy how consistent she is with her jumps. In a field that can be a little chaotic, can be a little kind of everywhere, Sarah Everhart is the person who really shines because of her relative consistency. She might be the one to take a medal here when other skaters might make a few mistakes here and there. Sarah Everhart might be there. Moni Chiba, however, is definitely the one to watch out for here. I feel like she might be the gold medalist in my heart, I feel like, because Moni Chiba of Japan proved to be extremely strong and consistent on the Grand Prix last season. Again, on the Grand Prix last season, she could not fall, she could not pop. It was just amazing. It was just amazing to watch her skate. I think it was so graceful, it was refined, it was elegant, and she got all those jumps done like it was nothing. And yeah, it was great to watch Moni Chiba there. And then Moni Chiba ended up getting third at Worlds, and yeah, definitely someone to watch out for as she comes in here with the world bronze. Amy Nakai, like I said earlier, making a secondary appearance coming from that junior level, might be. I hope that really does translate into the senior level for her. Madeline Skeezes from Canada is competing at home, which I think Skate Canada is really Maddie Skeezes' like favorite event. I feel like she just turns it on a lot of the time at Skate Canada, and that's great for her. Obviously, I think maybe she gets a medal. I have no idea. I really want Maddie Skeezes to medal at a Grand Prix because she's done super well at Skate Canada like every single year, and I feel like this could be it. This could be the year we get a medal. Not to be outdone is the two Europeans, not the only Europeans, but Lara Nakiguban of Italy and Nina Pizzorone of Belgium can score really well if they are very consistent. Both of them are skaters who I kind of put in that group of like, they score really well if the judges don't catch under rotation calls. Those are something both of those skaters unfortunately struggle with. Both Gutmann and Pizzorone have struggled a little bit here and there with under rotation issues. Pizzorone comes in here as the European bronze medalist. Lara Nakiguman comes off here with a really good couple of really good free skates actually last season. So this could be really good for them as well. They might sneak in again as other skaters make mistakes. Yuno Aoki of Japan is an angel. She's an angel on ice. There's no other way to say it. I want her to do really well here. I know the under rotation issues. I know the consistency is not the best, but Yuno Aoki, please, Yuna Aoki, do top six, please, top six here. Anyway, they have one TBD spot from Canada. I hope they give one maybe to Kai Ryder or maybe one for Catherine Medlin Spence, who already has one, but maybe they'll give her two. She's a nice skater too. But in this field, I think first will be Moni Chiba based on her consistency last season. I know, like, at Four Continents it wasn't the best, but everywhere else it was pretty good. Brayson now I think will get second, and third will be Isabel Levito. But again, skaters like Sarah Everhart, like Amy Nakai, maybe they could really step in here. The fourth event will be going to Japan to compete at the NHK Trophy in Osaka. Our skaters there are Luna Hendricks of Belgium, Nina Pinzorone also of Belgium, Catherine Medlin Spence of Canada, Anna Pezzetta of Italy, Wakawa Higuchi of Japan, Kari Sakamoto of Japan, a TBD spot from Japan, Sofia Samodolkina of Kazakhstan, Young Yu of Korea, Kimi Rippon of Switzerland, Sarah Everhart of the USA, and Elise Lynn Gracie of the USA. This is a strong field as well, led, I think, by Kari Sakamoto. Kari Sakamoto skating in Japan at home is a very dangerous combination, I feel like. She's a very, very good skater. At home, she's just fire. At NHK Trophy last season, she was on fire. And I really do think she can compete that up what am I saying? I really think that she can compete here like that again. I would say Wakabe Higuchi has something to say for sure. Also a home skater here, skating at home. Wakabe Higuchi had the comeback of her life last season. She won Skate America last season. She definitely has that level of consistency that, can really push her on that podium. Nina Pinzeroni is doing 2 events in a row. She's doing Skate Canada and then flying across the world for NHK Trophy. She is, to me, still in the medal mix, but in general, when skaters do 2 events in a row, that does tend to be quite a tough thing for them. Obviously, flying halfway across the world, competing the next week is kind of terrible, but Nina Pinzeroni, she might be the one to do it. She might be it. She might be the one to do it. We've seen skaters do it for sure. Sarah Everhart is again, like I said, the American queen of consistency that might find success in another field of chaos and mistakes. This is a very chaotic field. Sarah Everhart might be the one to rise to the top because of her consistency, because she's kind of amazing, you know? I would say Kimi Rippon of Switzerland could do really well, but is someone who does often struggle with her under rotations. Same thing with Elise Lynn Gracie from the USA. Again, under rotations will matter, but both those skaters have proven in the past that they can skate really well, just they have to avoid the under rotation calls. I think the most interesting part of this whole event though is the comeback of Luna Hendricks. Luna Hendricks is from Belgium. She's a skater who has medal silver and bronze at Worlds. She does really well at Worlds. She's been to the Grand Prix final, very European champion too. However, the important thing to note is that Luna Hendricks did not compete last season very, very much at all, because she unfortunately got injured and a bunch of things kept on happening. And yeah, we are not sure about Luna Hendricks for sure. She has a bunch of question marks after missing almost all of last season. She only competed once in like September, and she missed the rest of the season. So Luna Hendricks will be a huge question mark for me. Is she going to make it on the podium based on her previous success? That is all. Time will tell. I have no idea what her condition is. We haven't seen a lot of her training videos yet. We will definitely see. I believe in Luna. I love her style. I love her fun on the ice. But we have to admit that unfortunately she has a bunch of question marks around her. She could be really, really good and win. She might not be so good after missing all of last season and unfortunately a lot of training time. But I really do think Luna Hendricks is a great skater and I really want to encourage her and cheer her on. And I really do hope that she makes it to her second Olympics and could be in the mix for a medal there as well. I really do enjoy Luna Hendricks. But my podium predictions here. Oh, the TBD spots. I hope they give the TBD spot to Yuno Aoki so she gets 2 spots. But Japan's field is crazy and they could give it to anyone and I'd be happy probably. But I think first we'll go to Kari Sakamoto, second we'll go to Wakaba Higuchi, and third we'll go to Sarah Everhart. But again, very messy field. Our fifth event is Skate Canada, not Canada, Skate America. Sorry, the wrong neighbors, you know. Skate America has the following skaters: Leah Serena of France, Anastasia Gubanova of Georgia, Lara Naki Gutman of Italy, Wakabe Higuchi of Japan, Rinka Watanabe of Japan, Hana Yoshida of Japan, Cheon Kim of Korea, Heian Lee of Korea, Ekaterina Kurokova of Poland, Alyssa Liu of USA, and then 2 TB spots from USA, which I will definitely get to because those are very interesting for me. But in Skate Canada here, oh my god, Skate America. This is a field led by Alyssa Liu. She's competing at home after really strong results at a home world. So maybe skating at home is really the key for Alyssa Liu. Very much could be her key to success. She was amazing at Worlds and the World Team Trophy. She could be amazing here. Both Cheon Kim and Wakabe Higuchi are very much also in that upper scoring echelon. They did really, really well last season. They were both scoring in those 200 last season, and I do think that they could do that here and maybe even compete with Liu for that first place spot. Maybe a little bit below that will be Rinka Watanabe and Hana Yoshida, who again have both shown high scoring in the past. They've been in the 190s to 200s, but those two skaters, unfortunately, Rinka Watanabe and Hana Yoshida, they have struggled a little bit with under rotation calls. I love both of them because they're so quirky. Like both of them, I love. Rinka Watanabe and her quirky programs that everyone loves. I just love. But I think unfortunately the jumps might not be so consistent super a lot. So I really hope that they can do it for sure. Other rotations might be here and there. If they're both attempting triple axles, that could be amazing. That could be it. But we'll have to see. Anastasia Gubanova of Georgia could be the surprise here. Last season, she was doing relatively well up until Worlds, where she had kind of a really unfortunate short program and she didn't end up qualifying to the free skate. But then she also made the next competition, she did really good. She got really good results at the World Team Trophy. So we don't really know about Anastasia Gubanova. I really do think that her early season might not be as good usually. And so maybe she's in the mix, but it really does depend on if she lands on the jumps cleanly or not. for sure. Larnaki Gutmann, like I mentioned earlier, is a skater from Italy who is really, really good. She medaled in the Grand Prix last season. She got a bronze as a Finlandia trophy. But again, another skater who could maybe struggle a little bit with consistency, but she really does want to ramp that up, especially considering the Olympics are at home for her. But yeah, I think the TBD spots could go to so many American women. There's two TBD spots. There's Ava Marie Ziegler. There's Star Andrews. There's so many American women that could get those TBD spots. I really do think, I hope they go to Ava Marie Ziegler and Star Andrews though. But anyway, I think first here will be Alyssa Liu. Second will be Chan Kim. And third will be Wakaba Higuchi. Okay, and our last event before I get rambling way, 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 way too much is the Finlandia Trophy. And our skaters are Luna Hendricks, Madeline Schizas of Canada, Luna Hendricks from Belgium, sorry, Nina Petrikina of Estonia, Aida Karhunen of Finland, two TP slots from Finland, Lorene Schill of France, Mone Chiba of Japan, Rina Matsuke of Japan, Rian Sumiyoshi of Japan, Amber Glenn of the USA, and Brittany Tennell of the USA. Looking at this event again, it's a very strong field for the last event of the season. There's another American showdown between Amber Glenn and Brittany Tennell that might be the big highlight here. But Mone Chiba, again, Mone Chiba is a skater who was so consistent last season that I just feel like she cannot be kind of broken. Again, so consistent. Rina Matsuke really did well at this event. She won this event last year, even. She won this event. Wait, did she win or she got second? I can't remember. Shoot, Rino Matsuke Wikipedia. Rino Matsuke, she won. Oh no, she got silver. Never mind. Never mind. Sorry, she got a silver medal here at last, but it was super duper close. People thought she could have won, but yeah, Moni Chiba being really consistent. Runa Matsuke not as consistent as Moni Chiba, but a skater who just will enchant you with her skating. And then Ryan Sumiyoshi, again, another skater who technically is really good. She's attempted the quad toe in the past. She very much could be on the podium here as well if she's really clean. But yeah, those three Japanese women are having their own mini nationals as well. All three might have had, they've had high scores before. Moni Chiba, I think, will win out because of her consistency overall. And then Nina Petrokimia, the European champion, obviously hoping to improve on her results from last season and continue that winning streak for Estonia. Really good skater. Here and there, popping under rotations can be a little bit of a struggle, but overall pretty solid. Madeline Skeezes anybody? Like, that could be a surprise to you. Like, I just want to throw in Maddie Skeezes' name in there because I love her skating. I think that she could definitely do it. One of these days, she's going to put two clean programs together. They're going to be the best programs of her life. And then again, Luna Hendricks being a huge question mark because again, we didn't see Luna Hendricks at all except one competition last season, and like I love her so much and I want her to do really well. But such a big, huge question mark around her head right now. I'm not too sure where to place her here. She could pull a huge surprise though. But the TB spots I think can maybe go to Nella Pelkonen and Olivia Lisko, but I'm not too sure about like what skaters are still skating in Finland for sure. I know a lot of skaters did recently like stop skating for a bit or retire, so I'm not too sure about who's competing and not. But I hope Pelkonen and Lisko get them. First place, I'm predicting Amber Glenn. Second place, I'm predicting Mone Chiba. And third place, I'm predicting Brittany Tennell. Okay, but general notes in general, the U.S. women's field, I think, and the Japanese women's field are the two fields you have to watch out for. Those are so competitive. Each event, there's at least two American skaters and two Japanese skaters, I believe, in every event this season, as far as I can tell. And, those matchups are really important to watch out for sure. I am a little bit sad to see no Ava Marie Ziegler from the USA, she didn't compete last season, so she came back from injury, recovering from that. She could get the TBD at Skate America, but I hope they give her some challengers because I really like her. Some of these events are just so bad, like France, USA, France, the Grand Prix in France, like no, the Skate America, no. I think I don't even want to watch, but qualification will be very, very difficult for sure. Okay, lastly is the Paris discipline, which I will admit, Paris is not my favorite discipline. And so I am gonna go over pairs. I'm gonna go over them a little less detailed than I did for the women, and the men in the ice dance. It is the scariest discipline. I've saved the scariest one for last. But you guys know that if you listen for a while, you know that I say pairs is really not my favorite discipline, and I'm really sorry about that. If you're a pairs stan, I'm sorry. Like I like it, but like I don't love it at the same time. but I think it's just too scary for me. I'm sorry. I'm a wimp. I'm sorry. I know. But anyway, in the Paris plan, I think there's a lot of big names here. There's a lot of small names that can make surprises. I do think the Paris will be very much interesting to watch out for. What I'm looking out for here, particularly this season, is kind of the big matches between some of the big teams that I will explain in a few moments. But first up in France, we have Golubeva and Giotopoulos Moore of Australia, Stellato and Deschamps of Canada, Fola and Bell from France. There's two TBD spots from France. Pavlova Sviatchenko from Hungary, Mira Kihara from Japan, and then Shin and Nagi from the USA. Um, definitely a field that I feel can be a little competitive. There is a really big matchup here between Miran Kihara and Slato and Deschamps, who have been kind of going back and forth these last two seasons. If you recall, Slato and Deschamps were world champs in 2024, Miran Kihara the world champs in 2025. They kind of beat each other here and there these past two seasons. Miran Kihara definitely had the stronger last season, winning the Worlds, while Slato Deschamps placed fourth at Worlds or fifth at Worlds, fourth at Worlds. Let me think. No, it was fifth. I think it was fifth at, or was it fourth? I literally can't remember. But that would be a big battle between the Mira Kihara and Soledad Champ. Mira Kihara coming off of a stronger season might be the big pick here. And then third place will be a battle between the Hungarians, Pavlova and Sviatchenko, and the young Australians of Golubeva and Jutobulus Moore. Both of them are kind of in that 180, 190 range. Maybe Goluba, Giottobolis more a little bit on the lower side of that. But Pavlova, Stiachenko tend to be higher scored technically. They tend to be more consistent technically. And that might be where they win that battle of third here. But I really do like the Australians, Golubeva, Giottopolis more. They've shown us in the past that they can really put a good performance together when it matters. 2024 Four Continents is a great example of that. And so I'm not too sure also where the TBD spots would go. The Kovalevs, I hope they're still competing because I really like them in France. Anyway, first place, I think Mira and Kihara. Second place, I think Stellato Deschamps. Third place, Pavlova Sviatchenko. At Cup of China, the skaters that are competing are Bombardier and Miman from Canada, Sui and Han from China. You heard that right. Yeah. Two TP slots from China, Metalkina and Badulava of Georgia, Conti and Machi of Italia. Oh my god, why am I saying that? Italy, McBeath and Parkman of the USA, and Ganesh and Chigarev of Uzbekistan. And the skaters who are competing here, the main battle for me is going to be the Italians, Conti Machi, and the Georgians, Metlakina and Balulava. Conti and Machi were third at Worlds last season, and Metlakina and Balulava were fourth at Worlds last season, both hoping to make that, Olympic podium for sure. But, with such a tie, it was a really close result too, so I'm not too sure where either those two teams could battle forever. I feel like Conti Machi and Metlakina and Balulava could really battle forever and ever and better. The big thing for me here is that they really are trying to show like consistency in this early half of the season. The Paris field is, very much up and down for a lot of the teams because it could be really consistent, they could be really not. Gainich and Chikarev of Uzbekistan did really well at Skate Canada last year. I think they got silver at Skate Canada skating for Uzbekistan. They may be looking for a medal here as well. There are so many question marks about the comeback of the team of Sui and Han of China. They are the 2022 Olympic champions, but after that, we thought they retired, and then we see their names on the sheet again. We thought that Wenjing Sui was gonna come back with a new partner, but I guess not. And Hong Kong is back with her, and I guess they're skating together again. Like, I don't really know what will happen with them, how much they've trained and everything. They are a huge question mark for me. We did not know that they were coming back. That's the thing. We did not know. And now we're all shocked. That's what I'm talking about. In China, I'm not too sure how many teams in China are senior eligible and have technical minimums to compete here. The spot might go to the Chinese team of Zhang and Huang, but I'm not too sure who else will be here. But in Cup of China, I'm predicting first place will be Conti and Machi, second place will be Metlakina and Bololava, and third place will be Ganesh and Chigarev. But of course, I think Sui and Han could very much be surprises here because I have no idea about their comeback. I honestly don't know, like comeback wise. Like no. No. I'm not prepared. Like I don't know. They could win. I don't know. Maybe if they're still as good as they were during the Olympics after like 3 years, that could be amazing. But maybe they haven't trained a whole lot together yet. That might not be in their favor necessarily, and so it really depends on all that. Skate Canada, I do feel it has probably the most loaded field out of all of these events. We have Golubeva, Jutopoulos, Moore of Australia, Laurent and Etier of Canada, Pereira and Michaud of Canada, Slato and Deschamps of Canada, Vipin Law and Digby of Great Britain, Hasse and Volinen of Germany, Voulemont and Bouvard of Switzerland, and Cam and O'Shea of the USA. This is a very loaded field. Looking at this list here, let me think. These are fields. This is a field where I think I don't know. I don't know how many of them have won a medal in the past. I don't really know pairs enough to do that. But this one has a matchup between Hasse and Volinen, who are the world champs, and Stellato and Deschamps, who placed fifth at Worlds, but they were world champs back in 2024. Again, both very successful teams in the past. The interesting note about to note about Hasselhoff and they've only been together 2 seasons. Slaw and Deschamps have been together a longer before that, but Hasselhoff has shown that it feels like they've been partners for years, like decades or something, because they're so well matched together. Slato and Deschamps, kind of struggled last season. They might want to put it together here. Ski Canada might be their event, skating here at home. Kamino Shea of the USA looking to prove some more consistency and win a medal. They did even qualify to the Grand Prix final last season, so they might be looking for that again by winning a medal here. But I think they are very closely followed by the home team of Leah Pereira and Trent Michaud, who, skating at home might be their key to victory here. They are very, very good skiers as well. They've won medals. They've gone to the Grand Prix final in the past, just like Kamino Shea. Golubeva and Jutopoulos Moore also are in the mix from Australia. I would love to see them get another medal in Canada, just like they got last year back in Canada. But I think here first will be Hasse and Volodin, second will be Stellato and Deschamps, third place will be Cam and O'Shea. Okay, moving to the NHK Trophy, we're almost there, guys. 3 more events. In the NHK Trophy, we have Sui and Han from China, the Kovalevs from France, Pavlova Sviatchenko from Hungary, Conti and Macchi of Italy, Danilova and Tsiba from the Netherlands, Efimova and Mitrofanov of the USA, and then Chan and Hao also of the USA. This is another, interesting field with Conti and Macchi being the clear favorites here. Again, there are a ton of question marks around the team of Sui and Han from China. Again, making a comeback season after 3 years is kind of crazy. We don't know like how long they've been training together, what their choreography is like. I don't know. No, Efimova and Mitrofanov is the team to really watch out for. They did really great. That free skate at Worlds was an amazing free skate to get home in Boston. It was a great free skate for them. Chan and Hao are another American pair who have, been national champs in the past. They've proven a lot in the past. Excuse me, they could do very well here as well. Pavlova and Sviatchenko, the Hungarians, are the technicians, and they're looking to really sweep in if any teams make any, huge technical errors. But they could, that's my computer, sorry, make any technical errors. They could very much be the team to sweep in and do that. I hope they get the TBD spot to the Japanese team of Nagaoka and Moriguchi because I really do feel like they are. I think they're one of the 3 other 2 senior pairs, 3 senior pairs in Japan. I do think they will get it for sure. But anyway, first place I think will go to Conti and Macchi of Italy. Second place, Efimova Mitrofana of the USA, and third place Pavlova Sviatchenko from Hungary. But maybe it's Swanhan. I don't know. Like China. I don't know, man. I have no idea. No. We're not. No, I don't know. It could be them. It could be them. Okay, Skate America has a good field here as well. In Lake Placid, we will see these following pairs: Lauren Entier of Canada, Metlakina Barulava of Georgia, Hake and Kunkel of Germany, Miura and Kihara of Japan, Flores and Wang of the USA, Plazas Fernandez of the USA, a TBD spot from the USA, and Ganesh and Chigurev from Uzbekistan. And so the thing about Skate America here, I do think Miura and Kihara, the world champs, are leading here at the field. Metlakina and Barulava are the Georgians who could do very, very well based on their strong technical skills. They have been very strong technically in the past, artistically not as much, and that's where Mir and Kihara really shine. Ganesh and Chigarev from the Uzbekistan are also present here. They're hoping to win another medal. Um, I really do think that they could win another round like they did at Skate Canada last season, which is really good for them. I hope they give Audrey Shin and Balaz Nagy the host spot. I feel like they, could get a lot more competition experience. And I feel like people, including myself, think they are quite a promising team. Very nice team to watch. But I think first place will be Mira and Kihara. Second place will be Metalkina and Barulava. And third place will be Gainish and Chigarev. But we will definitely see here what will happen because I have no idea what's going to happen in any of these competitions at all. Okay, the very last competition for the pairs is Finlandia Trophy, where we'll see the teams of Pereira and Michaud, Zhang and Huang of China, Hassan Volodin of Germany, Ghiati and Brosini of Italy, Nagaoka and Moriguchi of Japan, Chichitsina and Wozniak of Poland, Efimova and Mitrofanov of the USA, and then Cam and O'Shea of the USA. I think that, leader wise, like who's the strongest in this field, Hasi and Volodin, the world silver medalists, are really leading the field here. They are a very strong pair and they, have very much dominated the field for this past season. They did get silver at Worlds, but otherwise it was really, really good. They could be the ones to win the medal here and then win a medal at the other event and qualify very much. I think they have a really good chance of qualifying to the Grand Prix final. Afimova and Mitrofanov and Cam and O'Shea will battle out here. Both teams have been the American number one before and really want to prove themselves here. Um, Last season they were both at Worlds. I think they placed, I forgot exactly, sixth and seventh or fifth and sixth at Worlds together. I believe no, sixth and seventh. I think at Worlds was Efimo Mitrofanov and Ken O'Shea, and then at Nationals a few months before, Ken and O'Shea were third and Efimo and Mitrofanov were first. And they will definitely battle out here. Both teams, like I said, have been the American number one before and are looking to prove themselves here again, kind of battling it out in a way. But, there are three potential spots for the USA in Paris. So I think that likely both of them will make it if Elisa Efimova can get her citizenship, which I know has been a bit of a concern recently that people have been discussing. Some outside medal chance from the Canadians, Pereira and Michaud, hoping to regain some success after a pretty good season 2 seasons ago. Last season was good, but not the best for them, but still pretty good. I would love a good result for the team of Chichitnina and Wozniak of Poland as well. I'm very sorry if I said those names wrong. I probably did. I'm very, very sorry. But I would love a good result for them too. They did it pretty well in the Challenger Series last season, so I would love for them to have a very surprise Grand Prix medal if they can do that. I'm kind of sad. This is a Finnish event, unfortunately, but they do not have a Paris team anymore. But because the Paris team of Vananen and Klerici disbanded, which I really did love them, so I'm kind of unfortunate. But no Paris team from Finland at this event exactly. First place will be Hase and Volodin for me. Second, Efimova Mitrofanov. And third, Cam and O'Shea. I will say those are very dependent results as well. I feel like Pereira and Michaud have a real chance of being on the podium here if they can put it together, those two skates together. But overall, that is my review and my actually not my review, but my preview of the women's field of the Grand Prix and the Paris field of the Grand Prix this upcoming season. Like I said, these assignments are super important to pay attention to. They are the Olympic season assignments. You will definitely want to watch this, especially with so many comebacks like Luna Hendricks in the women's event and Sueana Han in the Paris event. Those are such major comebacks, and we could see some huge power dynamic, kind of like, shuffling around here in the figure skating event. I really do think that. And yeah, very good results. But anyway, no discipline is really safe from the drama, and the chaos that these Grand Prix will bring is kind of unimaginable to me. And so we have 4 months to prepare ourselves. I think it's 4 months to get it all together, breathe, relax, everything. Like get yourself in the most, like stable emotional state possible because these Grand Prix are about to rock your entire world and turn it upside down and whatever else you want to say. But like I said, that is kind of it for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed listening to me go over the women's and pairs assignments for the Grand Prix. Like I said, if you want to listen to the men and ice dance predictions that I have, please go back to last week's episode. But thank you so much for listening to episode 73 of Teen Talk Singing Podcast. My name is Vango. I hope you have a great week. Next week's episode will definitely be some kind of video essay. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.